What is healthy building, and why is it the next big thing that you should be paying attention to when you're shopping for a home? That's because our modern standards, passive energy, tightly built homes are no longer matching the materials and the methods that most builders are doing. That's why for us, it's really important we pay attention to those details, put extra emphasis and time in making sure that we have thought out everything from the design stage, from the architectural stage, to make sure that whatever is going into this home that we've built for you is absolutely healthy. A key thing when you're thinking about healthy building is water prevention and keeping water away from your building area. What we did is we graded it away from the house, and then below this gorgeous gravel pathway, you've got a catch basin that links to a channel drain that takes the water all the way around the house and out towards the back. That means that water is not gonna pool here, and the water isn't gonna slowly drip into your foundation area, causing moisture and mold issues down the road. Another way that we prevent water from getting into the enclosed environment is by making sure that when water accidentally gets behind the siding or something else on the outside of the house, that it is a way to drain out towards the outside and not towards the inside. That's gonna get your drywall or your insulation all wet and moldy. So if you look here, check out this tiny little piece of metal. This tiny little piece of metal is called a flashing, and what it does is it essentially says if water is behind this and between the water barrier and the siding, what this metal does is it directs the water to flash out over and come out. And so that prevents water from coming into the house and keeping towards the outside. One of the ways that we are gonna prevent moisture and mold issues in your basement that is below grade is always making sure that the drywall, as it drops down, it doesn't touch the floor. So what we do is the drywall will float a few inches off the floor, and that means that any moisture that's coming in is not gonna hit the drywall. Another thing that we like to do is, you can see here, this is our trick for framing on a potentially wet basement slab, is anytime that we are putting our pressure treated lumber, which in itself is a little bit moisture resistant but won't prevent mold, what we do is we add a nice little layer of foam here as a capillary break. What this does is this helps to prevent water that's wicking up through the concrete slab from affecting the wood. And basically this will keep the entire assembly above that foam dry and mold free. In addition to floating the drywall and making sure that it does not touch the slab, you got to make sure that you're using something that is not an organic material that's going to get wet, cause mold and moisture issues. So what we do is this looks like the drywall is flush to the floor. You get that same effect, but actually our drywall is floating. It ends right about here. And what we did is we matched the same baseboard style that we're using upstairs for consistent design, but we did it in PVC. That means that this baseboard can withstand water for years to come, and there's gonna be no mold and moisture issue. Another really easy way to keep your house low VOC, low chemicals, no off-gassing for months or years to come is to make sure that when you're staining your floors, you're using a water-based stain. It does have some chemicals in it, but those are gonna off-gas relatively quickly. Typically within a week, you probably have most of the chemicals off-gas. So by the time you're moving in, there's no more chemicals on it, there's no strong smell, and yet it still looks gorgeous.